Hi, I'm Mr. Jones, Head of Geography. I just wanted to spend a little bit of time going over some revision techniques with you and building up to an actual GCSE question to show you how to access the full marks on that question. I think a lot of you are quite good with your case studies and making notes, but we need to put that into practice to make sure that we actually understand what the question is asking us in the exam as well. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use the topic of tropical rainforest because this will be on your PPE, which will be coming up in the next few weeks. And we're going to do a revision clock. So I've got a revision clock in front of me and it is for tropical rainforests, and on this it's got all of the different sections that you need to know about tropical rainforests. And the way I've completed this is by using the revision book that obviously you've all been given as well. So with a revision clock, what I've decided is we've split it up into a number of different sections, and the good thing about this is you don't have to fill it in all at once, so you could make some notes, test yourself on it, and then go back to it again, and you can keep adding to it as you go along. Okay, so if we look at the one that I've got in front of me, and you can see at the top I've put location of tropical rainforests, and I've used the revision book, and I've put that a few degrees either side of the equator and between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. That's that bit done, easy enough, you should be able to remember that one. Then we go to the characteristics, so still using your revision book, I've put, well, they're hot and humid, there's no distinct seasons, and they've got huge biodiversity. You are literally taking a lot of the information from here and condensing it so that you've just got the key ideas that you're able to expand on in any exam question then. What I want to focus on first of all though is the impacts of deforestation. So we know the causes, and often that can be one of the questions, but today we're just going to focus on the impacts of deforestation. So once again, in your revision book, it clearly says impacts of deforestation, and I've made a few notes in this section. So it said, ground is exposed to soil erosion, there's reduced biodiversity, there's a loss of plants with medicinal potential, and it impacts local and global climate. So they are the main impacts of deforestation. So once you've got all of your clock finished, you're then going to have a go at looking at an actual question. So I'm just going to put that to one side for now. And here is an actual question taken from the exam, I think it was 2 years ago. So it says, study figure 1, and you can see figure 1 is a picture of the rainforest, and it says it shows a rainforest in Borneo, Indonesia, which is being cleared to make way for a plantation. And you can clearly see the photograph. Now, as an examiner, one of the things when I'm marking for the exam board is a number of people do not read the question properly. So let's break the question down. The question says, using figure 1, okay? So using figure 1, it's the photograph. You must refer to the photograph in your answer. But look at this, and your own knowledge. That basically means talk about a case study that you know, all right? So that's what it's after, a case study. We do the case studies in class. It will never name the case study. It will always say, and your own knowledge. So we've got that. Using figure 1, the photograph, and your own knowledge, discuss the impacts of rainforest clearance. We know the impacts. We've got them here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you an ideal answer. This answer got all 6 marks, and I'm going to show you as an examiner what I'm looking for to break it down. Okay, so I'll leave the question there so we can keep referring to it to make sure that we're answering it. So it starts off, clearing rainforest areas like this can be disastrous. Look at that, right away you've made a clear judgment at the start. You are saying there are real impacts to this, okay? And then we need some evidence because the question says using figure 1. So go straight in with your evidence. The forest cover has been cleared and burned. You're saying what you can see in the picture. That's what it's after, okay? So we've got clearing rainforest can be disastrous. The forest cover has been cleared and burned. And then you're going to say one of the impacts. You're going to say it used to shelter the soil when it rained heavily. The rain would be intercepted and it would drip slowly onto the soil. But now let's go straight into the impact. So now if there's a storm, the rain's going to run off and it's probably going to take the soil with it because there is nothing to protect it. You've put an explanation in after making your point. So you made the point. There's no longer anything there. So the rain's going to run off and there's nothing to protect it. Okay? Let's go to the second point. It says, soils in the rainforests are infertile. You've made a point again. You've said the soils are infertile. So then you're going to make another judgment. So clearing the lands for plantations probably isn't a good idea anyway. Okay, so you're making that judgment. That is your own knowledge going back to the question, okay? Probably the ash that's in the photo will probably be the only fertile part of the soil. So once again, you're given evidence to back up your point. So clearing forest is not likely to have any benefits for farmers. That achieves all 6 marks because you've made a judgment, you've put evidence in, and you've explained your point. And as an examiner, when I see answers like that, they always get the top marks, okay? So you're always going to back up what you can see, but once again, go back to the question, did I use figure 1? Well, you have, okay? And did you use your own knowledge? Well, you have, because you spoke about interception not taking place as well, okay? So as well as making your notes, as part of your revision, please have regular practice at doing the actual questions. Okay, thank you.